Good afternoon, New Zealand and the world. Lucas Lawman's here with a Lunchtime live for you. Bit of a conversation, bit of a yarn, usual way we do things. I thought it was absolutely time to do so. We've had a great run of interviews with a local body council candidates and what they've been dealing with as well, and there's more of those to come, but it's always worth getting on and having a bit of a yarn. So as the description is up there for this particular live, I just wanted to actually cover off essentially what this channel is and what it's all about, and myself, essentially, before we cover off a couple of both world leader events, the PM's speech at the UN briefly, and what's been going on over in the EU as well. Hello, Veronique. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate anyone that takes the time to do so. Or if you're watching this delayed or on YouTube, really appreciate it. If you like what you see, chuck some stars our way. We appreciate every single dollar that comes towards Kiwi Voice for, of course, the live stream fees, the website fees, and any additional equipment, etc. from what we've got planned going forward as well. But just you watching is enough. We love it. Thank you very much. Hey, Lynn, over there in the US, expat Kiwi, long-time follower of Kiwi Voice. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, I want to clarify, essentially, a trail. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. It's just a microphone and a smartphone, and I've got my nice little backgrounds going on there because I do love having a bit of nature around us. Definitely the way I love to do things. So, obviously, Kiwi Voice is a fairly open, conversational type platform, both in the comments and both in the fact that we focus heavily on interviews with Kiwis of all types, specifically council candidates and politicians at the moment, and others like that in the past as well. But there is also a lot of comment out there, and I receive a lot of DMs and emails, etc. as well. That is fairly critical of what I do. Understandable. That's what it's all about, open, free conversation. But I just want to clarify essentially a couple of things about Kiwi Voice, what we are all about. So it's my opinion. It's my opinion and political commentary only. That's essentially what this is all about, other than talking to other Kiwis and letting them share their opinions and their thoughts and their expertise. I do these lives to generate debate, respectful debate. Hopefully, it's not always the case, but I always can't control how the debate will actually turn out in the comment section. Of course, I don't claim to be any kind of specialist or doctor or political scientist or expert journalist or any of that sort of stuff. I'm just a Kiwi with a passion for making video content, which I've had for a number of years now, talking and listening to true Kiwis, and I have a bit of confidence in public speaking. That is it, really. So, like so many of my fellow Kiwis, I've become increasingly concerned about the direction of New Zealand, our beautiful country, and where it's heading. And with the pandemic, that greatly accelerating the intrusion into our lives by elected officials and the erosion of a number of basic rights. So I decided to start speaking out through my passion of video content, starting on YouTube and moving on to Facebook not long after. And here we are. I always try and openly state my biases. I'm sure I miss some of those at times, wherever possible. And I do my utmost to not state anything as complete and utter fact unless it is uncategorically so. And I'm sure I get that wrong from time to time as well. And that's the beauty of this social media, chucking the comments below. And I've had stuff pointed out to me, which I have corrected in the past, which, as we know in these crazy times, there is not a lot that is uncategorically fact. We've got so much access to information, almost everything can be challenged, and I think it's healthy to do so. The majority of what I speak about is opinion and commentary on other media sources and reporting, and also what I've deducted from people out on the street, in protests, in public, from the comments, and various scientists, doctors, and subject matter experts out there on the interwebs, like a lot of you lovely people do as well, the world, and of course the amazing people, my favorite part, that I've had the privilege to talk to at this point in the Kiwi Voice journey. There has been many of those, and I hope many, many more to come. The long form interview is what it's all about for me. Now, people can say whatever they like on this page or channel, or if you watch it on YouTube in the comment section there, whatever it is. And in fact, I strongly encourage you to do so. I guess I'm just trying to clarify for those people that continue to call me out on almost everything I say. I'm but human. I'm fallible. I am also just speaking my mind. Feel free to scroll on by. With that being said, though, let's take a look at what has been happening out there in politics and global affairs. Cheers to the 31 people that have come to hang out with us at lunchtime as we do the usual Kiwi voice style of yarn. Hope it is lovely where you are on this Wednesday. As we all know, PM Jacinda Ardern recently returned from yet another overseas trip whereby she attended the Queen's funeral before heading over to New York, where she spoke at the UN General Assembly. Typical grandstanding, in my opinion, occurred here, with comments, as discussed last week with Matt King, such as "we need a rallying cry from the world" when discussing the Ukraine-Russia conflict. In her address to the UN, she calls internet freedom a weapon of war. That's a quote, and called for a new type of internet with rules and transparency. Another quote, as part of her continued, what I see to be censorial effort with the Christchurch Call initiative. So how do you tackle climate change if people don't believe it exists, she said, and how do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous ideology? All of this reeks of pushing harder and harder for further online censorship, not trusting the people to be able to make up their own mind and figure out from the screeds of information out there what is true and what is not. Now, as we all know, ideological censorship online has been rife over the last decade, but specifically over the last 3 years, to ensure the control of the COVID narrative, the Ukraine war narrative, and now, of course, the climate change narrative. This is not me saying what is right and what is wrong on these subjects. Let's put that out there. All I'm saying is that the big tech platforms, in conjunction clearly with government, is being used to control the narrative in a certain way. Whether you believe that to be the right one or not is not the point. I don't be claimed to qualify to be saying what is right and wrong and what is wrong on these subjects. What I'm saying, as I said, major tech platforms, as admitted by tech leaders, Jack Dorsey of Twitter and Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, when discussing the Hunter Biden laptop story, for example, they both admitted that the FBI had been in contact with them and they had dialed down the algorithm in terms of displaying that information or banned it completely. Zuckerberg says this out of the man's mouth himself on the Joe Rogan podcast. They took down posts, contents, or discussions which are opposed to what the government and then they themselves to be the correct narrative. It's probably that none of that's any news to you people out there, I am sure. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, their community guidelines, they continue to morph to suit what they believe is not acceptable to be displayed to the public, to the extent that doctors and scientists with decades of experience and screeds of peer-reviewed published literature are censored, and in some cases their careers are destroyed. There are countless examples of this out there, too many for me to go into right at this moment. Science by its very nature exists through challenge, constantly evolving as more and more information becomes available, or evolving in the face of constant challenge through study and differing scientific analysis. It's never settled. So what gives these companies or any government whatsoever the ability or the right to be able to decide what is and what isn't acceptable in this open and free information age that we live in? Surely any calls for control of this information from the government should be met with deep but healthy skepticism, besides which it doesn't matter what is regulated. If you want to see offensive content, you can do so in seconds, whether it be porn, offensive or otherwise. Is there any focus on removing that kind of harmful comment? I think not. Anyway, before we move on into having a look at what's happening in the EU, let's have a look at some of the comments here. Thanks, John. Really appreciate you joining us. Really appreciate the comments. What else got here? Trail, you reckon we sacked Jacinda and Ian Foster at the same time? Unfortunately, I do actually make a comment about this in the next piece there, Trail. Essentially, democracy would tell us we can't just sack Jacinda, but yeah, it'd be lovely if it was just a job and we could do that. But no, we need to get rid of Labor and National, in my opinion. I would agree with you, Marley. National will need to find a better leader if they want to get voted in. I think that's a fair statement, but I don't think the leader's really the be-all and end-all of that either. Hey, Bruce, how are you going? Really appreciate you joining in. Alrighty, so let's carry on, moving on over to the EU. Over in Italy, it's kind of dominating the headlines on the alternative media and mainstream media. It's a real interesting one. A right-wing bloc, political bloc, headed by the lovely Giorgia Meloni of the Brothers of Italy party, has won the recent Italian elections and is set to become Italy's first woman prime minister. Now, you would think that the left would be absolutely loving that one, diversity and all that, and the global organisations, politicians, and mainstream media are absolutely freaking losing their mind over it. Multiple calls of this being bad for democracy. Would you believe? When she was democratically elected. Kind of odd, from top officials, including the president of the European Union. Now, I'm going to butcher her name, and I apologise. Ursula von der Leyen. She said they had the tools, quote, to deal with people voting in that particular way. Did they get in by a large margin? They did get in by a large margin, Bruce. They had their vote spread. However, they are doing it in a coalition. I think the Brothers of Italy got around 36%, and the coalition partner is around a 9% or something along those lines. Don't quote me on those figures, but the outgoing left-leaning parliament or government, was far behind. So yeah, President of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, saying they had the tools to deal with people voting in this way. Mainstream media headlines abound, such as probably the most woke headline I can remember reading from The Guardian. This is a cracker. This is the headline. The election of Italy's fascist-adjacent Giorgia Meloni is a public reminder that women can be just as awful as men. Okay, and our own Radio New Zealand stating Italian far-right leader Giorgia Meloni claims election victory. Now, my understanding of far-right is actually, extreme fascism, actually something that majority of people, I would agree, would fight against. So how you can call it far-right when she's democratically elected, I don't know, but there you go. These are just a couple of examples of the world's press losing their minds. To me, this is a democratically elected leader, as I said, and that's how it works. Now, I don't agree with everything that this PM stands for either. I'm not fully conservative in my views personally either, but, democratically elected, populist-based, why the heck not? I've never been one to say, regardless of how terrible a job she might be doing. Yeah, let me say that again. I've never been one to say, regardless of how terrible a job I think she might be doing, that our PM, Jacinda Ardern, should resign or be fired. It's part of the messy deal that is democracy. We have to vote her out at the next election. That's just the way it is, and the only way it is. Yes, Lynn, far right has been redefined. I've been called far right a number of times since I started Kiwi Voice with my anti-mandate stance. And pro free thinking stance, anti-censorship stance, free speech stance. You're going to be far right. I will watch Italy and Europe with interest as the story develops out there, with, of course, the unprecedented instability in play at the moment with the energy and economic crisis that comes from a war on their doorstep, exacerbated by out-of-touch globalist aligned leaders and so many of the European bloc countries. Germany is another key one. Real troubling times there, and in the UK specifically with the energy prices, with the Nord Stream pipeline being shut, and I'm not sure of the percentage. Someone correct me in the comments. 20 or 30% of their energy usage comes from the gas that was supplied by that pipeline, so they are struggling at the moment. Okay, so that's the bits of leader news that I wanted to cover off. What have we got coming up and what's going on around the traps? The final silent vigil this Friday here in Christchurch at the Bridge of Remembrance, 12 noon. I posted about this and got a good response last night. If you're in Christchurch or nearby and you want to be uplifted while also, getting that sense of mourning for the way society has changed, it's a beautiful place to be. I'm going to go along, sit down and meditate and try and do that for the entire hour. I just feel like I want to soak up all the energy there for the last silent vigil, organised by Voices for Freedom, but it's really grown into its own thing. 12 noon, Bridge Remembrance this Friday. 15th of October at Cramner Square. Also in Christchurch, there is a Freedom Family Reunion. Now, we'll post up the official Freedom and Rights Coalition poster closer to the time. This is being held on the 1-year anniversary of the very first Freedom and Rights Coalition protest. So I'm wondering whether we're going to get a bit of feeling out there or whether we'll be just the few hundred hardcore that have attended towards the end of this protest movement. It'll be interesting to see. I would like to think that the fantastic memories of the upwards of 10,000 people that were marching in the sun at Cramner Square will bring the people back for that reunion. That'll be great. I'm looking forward to that. 15th of October at Cramner Square, but we'll post up on the page closer to the time. More local council candidate interviews are upcoming. We're in talks with someone from Auckland. We are also looking out there. We've chucked the word out there. We're going to be doing a group one from some peeps in Southland as well. So, it doesn't get the largest coverage in terms of views and shares, etc. But that is not for the page. That is not the point at all. This is just providing yet another platform, along with some of the other freedom thinking or free thinking individuals on the alternative media outlets, for these candidates to get their thoughts and feelings out there and why you should vote for them. Speaking of which, you should get out and vote. If you have not already, I still have not. I am sitting back a little bit, and to be totally honest with you, haven't had the chance to go into depth with Christchurch Central Ward and who I'm going to be voting for there. So if anyone can point me in the direction of that, save me a little bit of time, by all means, flick us an email or message through the page. But you've got till the 8th. You've got till the 8th of October. Obviously, you want to get in early as possible, so get out there and vote. A very, very small percentage turnout still at this point, whether that is people hanging off or whether it is just going to follow the traditional path of local body council elections and have a small turnout overall. But it's important. We all know how important it is this time around. Let's get amongst it. And finally, I have got at Kiwi Voice, I have sort of started the initial gathering of footage for what I hope to be it's a personal project, but I really hope that all of you out there will enjoy it. It's going to be a documentary of sorts, a historical document of sorts, and it's all about the protest movement here in Christchurch, mentioning some other parts of the country as well. But it's going to document right through from October last year right through to present day. I've got hours and hours of documentary footage and interviews from protesters and all sorts, and I'm hoping to put that all together with some more up-to-date interviews for a documentary or historical document, and I'm looking forward to doing that. It's going to take some time to do so. I'm a one-person band when it comes to editing and video creation, but I love it. So that's started though in earnest, started to get together some of the raw footage, and so I will continue to pump that over the coming months as I put that together, and something to look forward to. That is us essentially now for this afternoon, team. Really appreciate everyone that takes the time to join in as per usual. Get along to yourkiwivoice.co.nz if you want another format there and some other written pieces. Also information on there on how to donate if you wish to do so to our cause. We are very, very grateful as any donation that has come in the last wee while has just been a massive help. And we continue to get people ask us how to do so. So that is awesome. You guys are amazing. It's 12:42. Let's get out amongst it before it rains here in Christchurch and go and walk the dog. Stay safe, stay free, and we'll see you again real soon.